Great. Well, today's study is why there is so much suffering in this world. Why there's so much suffering in this world. Romans 5, verse 12. Therefore, just as through one man sin entered into the world, and death through sin, so death spread to all mankind, because all sinned. The truth, suffering entered into the world through Adam's sin. God did not create the world with death or pain. The promise, God provided redemption through his Son to rescue mankind from the consequences of sin. The conclusion, suffering traces back to the fall, not to God's character. Romans chapter 8, verses 20 through 22. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation, the creation itself also will be set free from its slavery to corruption into the freedom of the glory of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation suffers pains of childbirth together until now. The truth, creation itself is broken and suffering because sin brought corruption into the world. The promise, all of creation will one day be restored and set free when the Lord Jesus returns. The conclusion, suffering in the natural world is temporary, but will be undone by God's future restoration. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 17. For our momentary light affliction is producing for us an eternal weight of glory, far beyond all comparison. The truth, the trials believers endure are shaping and preparing them for eternal glory. The promise, God uses every difficulty to produce something eternal and glorious in his people. The conclusion, no suffering is wasted when it is entrusted to God. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters. I'll start over. James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Consider it all joy, my brothers and sisters, when you encounter various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces endurance. And let endurance have its perfect result, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. The truth, trials, tests, prove and strengthen faith. The promise, God uses suffering to bring his disciples into maturity and Christ-likeness. The conclusion, trials are divine instruments of spiritual growth. God's heart in our suffering. Psalms 34, verse 18. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The truth, God draws close to those who suffer. The promise, he saves, supports, and comforts the crushed in spirit. The conclusion, God is near, not distant, in our deepest pain. Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. The truth, God is sovereign over every circumstance. The promise, everything, even suffering, is turned into his purpose and our good. The conclusion, God is actively working in every part of our suffering. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will no longer be any death. There will no longer be any mourning or crying or pain. The first things have passed away. The truth, God himself will remove all sorrow forever. The promise, pain, tears, death, and mourning will come to an end. The conclusion, the destiny of every disciple is a future without suffering. Final summary, conclusion. Suffering exists because Adam sinned, creation was cursed, and the enemy's works against God's purpose. Yet the Lord uses suffering to draw people to his Son, refine his disciples, and produce eternal glory. Every trial has purpose, every tear has value, and every believer has a future where suffering will be no more. Final questions for you. Will you choose to trust God's goodness even when you face suffering? 2. Will you choose to draw closer to the Lord Jesus instead of letting pain harden your heart? And 3. Will you choose to submit your sufferings to God, allowing him to shape your life and help others?